your faces and returning faces. Welcome to Breaking the Chains Live, where we are going to literally step inside your brand for a full sensory experience. And I love all of these goals, ladies, inspiration and clarity, and continuing to define the vision and take action. And when it comes to building our brands, there are two sides of building your brand. There is, yes, the aesthetics and what does this brand vision look like for me, and how do I do the implementation of like creating my brand. But then there's also the woman behind the brand. And so with Breaking the Chains and why I decided to do this, it is a brand identity immersion between both your brand and your bigger vision, and how do we develop that, as well as who are we being? Who is the woman behind the brand? So you're here today because you're ready to break the chains of what's holding you back and keeping you small. You are ready to explore the depths of your brand identity with your bigger vision and activate your brand voice and literally take your brand to the next level with a full sensory experience. And you might be wondering, like, what does a full sensory brand mean, look like? I don't understand. And so this experience today, it will make all the sense once you get out on the other side. My name is Priscilla Seitz. Some of you know me, some of you are newer. I'm so happy to see both. And literally, I'm the only brand designer that you should be working with. And this is because not only, again, the skill set, I have my master's degree in brand and web design. I have been doing this for years, and aesthetically wise, it's not just about that though. It's about building the brand movement. And what I see in the online space and these women who are really taking off and taking over the internet, right? It's like we aspire to be like these women who are just showing up fully, is because they have built the brand movement, the brand mission, and they're so connected to who they're being and to what that clarity looks like. And when you can continue to raise your consumer's vision and continue to allow them to see themselves, whether that's in you as the leader, or allow them to continue to see themselves in the bigger vision of what you're taking them from where they're at to the gap of that transformation of where you're going to take them time and time again. So your brand building is forever evolving. You will pivot, like I've reinvented myself thousands of times over and over again. And so this is also your permission slip to evolve. It should be our mission to evolve every step of the way. I'm also a Pommy mommy. This is Mufasa and Isabel. Does anyone else have babies or maybe real babies? Drop it in the chat. I want to know their names. Mine are wild. They are not in here right now because they will be barking like crazy. They feel like they're missing out. And I also have, again, I mentioned my master's degree in brand and web design. I was actually a professional bodybuilder, and I sang downtown Tootsies. I sing classic country music. I was living in Nashville for a short period of time, living my childhood dream of being a country star. And I just launched my new baby, my new brand, which we'll get into a little later, but I'm so excited to share all about my brand movement and my mission behind becoming the woman behind the brand. So first things first, your personal brand, especially when you're the face of your business, oftentimes like we get stuck in like, how am I going to do this? The logistics, we're in our Google Docs and we're like trying to figure it out, or we don't even know where to start. We have like all these ideas as visionaries. We really can get stuck in like, where do I even start? Or how do I make this come to life? And so when it comes to building your personal brand, I really want you to think about like, who am I being and how am I leading first? Especially when it comes to your content as well. Your content should even be an extension of you, and it's leadership first. And that piece of what your audience is looking at you, and they see themselves in you. They see themselves.
Yes, please.
They see themselves in you and a piece of them that they desire and aspire to be. And so I really want you to remember, when it comes to your brand building, people pay you first. It's not your product. It's not your service. Like, when you're building a brand movement, it doesn't matter if you're selling a pencil or a yacht retreat, whatever you decide to do, your consumers just want to be a part of the movement and they just want to be in your proximity. They want to learn from you. So it's about building that energy. And so when we get stuck in the how, there's the beauty of the strategy to lead us, but then there's also the other side of leading with who we are and what does this really mean to us and where's the passion. So if you feel like there's a disconnect and a gap with your brand or with your content, there is a piece, an identity gap piece missing that we need to dive into. And this can happen at any stage of your business. I just rebranded and I went through a whole identity evolution. And so again, when it comes to your branding, like looking at your identity as identity seasons. And this is not the end all be all. This is just this season and I'm evolving. I'm learning more about my expression, how to use my voice, how to create my messaging, how to really speak to the women I desire or the consumers I desire to be in my proximity and in my world. And it comes down to your expression. So I want you to ask yourself, like, is there any piece of you that feels tucked away, maybe chained to fear or suppressed by judgment? Maybe there's pieces of you that are laying dormant. Like, I know for myself, like I was so far in like, I have to make this happen. How am I going to do this? And I lost a piece of that piece where it was like an over masculine drive. And so again, there's the beauty of structure and discipline leads us to freedom. But then there's the other side of where were we told we were wrong? Where were we told we weren't enough? Or where were we told post this, not that? Where were we told that we weren't enough? And so those pieces that we've pushed ourselves down, maybe we've pushed certain parts of us, maybe in our business, we feel like I can't show this part of me because my business, I'm supposed to look professional and I'm supposed to be this type of identity where you're actually keeping yourself small because you're not showing up vulnerably in all the states of who you are. And so I want you to ask yourself, like, who am I deeply desiring to be and where are these pieces that are wanting to come out and play? And so I want you all to be in a super comfy place. And if you want to drop in the chat, like if there's something that comes to mind, if you're open to sharing, where are some of these pieces of you that you feel like you either can't show, or maybe there's some parts of you that you're just like so burn out and you haven't been able to be in your creative, or and you haven't been able to like connect the dots.
Great.
Oh, I'm gonna make sure everybody's muted. Yeah, showing up, evolving, and not feeling enough still. Yeah, and that's like a part of it. Like every evolution in every part of your business that you evolve into, they're going to be deeper layers, and you always will get this newfound like part of you that is like, can I really do this? And it's about connecting to that deeper vision and always keeping that in mind first, like always keeping your why and really connecting to what this why is. Your ex-boss was judging you from the sidelines 100%. Yes, that's something too, like in another job, or maybe you're corporate before you went full time, or maybe you still have a piece of you that is like letting go of judgments from other people or your family, or maybe even your partner. That was something I struggled with. Like I was super expressive before I met my partner. And then there was like a time where I was like, oh, I don't know what he's going to think if I'm like on my social media. When I had met my partner, even he was in a healing phase and he wasn't on social media. So I actually like hid and I didn't really express fully because I didn't want to make him feel a type of way. So it's really, again, going back to like owning our own leadership. And the more that I then stepped into and shared, like, this is like what I need to do, and this is my mission, and it's separate from you, but I'm supporting you still in your healing journey. And so really discerning, where am I leading myself? Where have I fallen off? Or where have I forgotten who the fuck I am without anybody else placing that on us? So Jess, coming from a past that made me feel like I didn't have a voice and trying to find your voice. Yes. Yes. All right. So we're going to find that voice. We're going to unlock those chains today, baby. Okay, I would love everyone to get in a super, super comfy place. And we are going to dive straight in to our immersive side of this experience. And so you can get comfy in your chair if you want to move to the ground, to the floor, wherever you feel best. And just begin to close your eyes and a hand on your heart. And I would love for you to put a hand over your womb and just breathe and feel yourself for a moment. And just sitting in this moment of gratitude for showing up today, showing up for your bigger vision, and showing up for the woman you are deep inside, that maybe she's been whispering and she's ready to just unleash. She's ready to unshackle and break the chains from anyone or anything that's kept her small, from anything that's kept her from going all in on her big vision. And I just want you to hold your heart and feel that heartbeat and just be so grateful for whatever phase you're in life, in business, in this journey. I want you to take 5 breaths here. And as you continue to breathe, feel up through your rib cage and expand. Breathing deeper, grounding your feet to the floor, wiggling your toes. And I want you to start scanning your body inch by inch, starting at your feet, to your calves, and up your thighs, to your womb. Take another full deep breath here. Your hand over your womb, just so grateful for our creation and what we are creating and co-creating with life. And continue scanning your body, breathing bigger into your rib cage, filling up your rib cage, up your spine to your chest, landing back at your heart and feeling your heartbeat, beat by beat. And take a moment to pause here and just hold your heart and connect to this woman, the woman that you are, the woman that you know you're continuing to become, that you were created here to be in your artistry, created here to make impact, and just live the most expansive life. Take another breath here. And I want you to think about something that's holding you back. This could be something that just came up, something from the past. Is this limitation a person, a past experience, maybe your own thoughts? These thoughts that led you to believe this limitation was true. And what does it look like? What does it feel like, this limitation in your body? Is there somewhere in your body that you feel it more? And I want you to mirror, what does this look like in your body? Are you closed off, hunching over, slouched? Do you feel like you want to curl in a ball? These chains of limitations wrapped around you. Where do you feel in your body that you feel chained and trapped? Are they locked tightly, locking you away and keeping you from fully expressing the beautiful visionary woman that you are. And I want you to meet this person or go back to this experience. And I want you to speak to them. Meet your current self to this past self. And feel into, why does this hold so much weight on you? This heaviness of these chains. And is there anywhere in the body that you feel it heavier? And allowing your body to move or using your hands, I want you to move wherever you feel locked up the most. Where does this in the body, where's it holding space for you? And take a deep breath here. And when I count to 3, I want you to break away from them. I want you to sharply push your hands away from your body as hard as you need to break these chains that are holding you back. 3, 2, 1. Break. Harder. Push harder. Breaking away from what was keeping you small. And as you're breaking these chains, I want you to thank this person or this experience for showing up, maybe as protection. Maybe it was a lesson or a source from God, an opportunity to break a generational pattern, or an energetic experience for you to understand your truth and to speak up for you, your lineage. And I want you to lovingly release this person or this experience and go back to holding your heart. And drop further into your body, feeling your heartbeat again, connecting to you. And 3 breaths here. What is your heart saying? Do you feel lighter? What is your higher self waiting for you to step into? Have you been procrastinating? Have you been holding yourself back? Have you been thinking about the how instead of just the being? And you see a bright white light above you. Looking above at this white light, you follow it, lighting up from your heart, up your neck, around your ears, beaming over your face to the top of your head. And as you look into this guiding light, it takes you by the hand and it walks you into a movie theater. You're buying your tickets to the hottest movie out, and it's starring you. You get your popcorn and your snacks. I know we all love our snacks. You walk down the theater of the aisle, and the lights are guiding your steps to your seat. Each light, you watch your feet move step by step to the best seat in the house. And you get comfortable in that red cushioned seat. And the previews begin. What previews of your past self have desired to show up in your brand, in your business, or your life, but they weren't fully quite full out? And as you watch these previews of yourself, each time you worked so hard to show up for yourself, your family, and your business, I want you to watch these previews and sit in gratitude as you see all the glimpses of your success, that you've experienced. And the lights begin to fade, dimmer, and the curtains begin to open. And as the curtains become two, you see yourself on the big screen. This is your brand identity playground. You can be or do whatever you want to do. What are you wearing? What are you doing? How are you acting? And as you see yourself on the big screen, how does your body feel now without limitations? Moving without these chains locking you away, hiding from your deepest desires. What does it look like to fully show up as your authentic self? Do you see an alive, embodied, liberated, expressive version of you? I want you to feel this in your body and listen to your breath. What is your body telling you and desiring to show up as? I want your body to meet your vision. You are her. You are one. And inside your movie, you begin to walk down the street. You go to a store to go shopping. And I want you to think about now, if your brand had a storefront and you walked into your own store, is it a boutique shop, a studio, your own practice, an agency, maybe a franchise? And when you open the door, you're immediately hit with a scent. What do you smell? You start to browse and begin touching items. What do they feel like? What textures are on the wall? Are there paintings? Are there pictures? Are there plants? What does your brand store look like? What does it smell like? What are you touching and feeling? Does someone come to greet you? How do they greet you? Do you notice music playing? What sounds or what song is playing? Do you want to just stay in this store forever? A customer walks in. What are they like? You begin to interact with them. What are they looking for? Do they walk around blindly, grabbing a few things only to put them back on the rack? Or do you take them by the hand to show them the one thing that they know they have to have? And the one thing is you and your services, your products, your offers. The one thing they have to have in their life because you know how it will serve them and their family generations down the line. How does that feel in your body? Now this customer leaves the store and tells a friend how amazing you were, that your services literally changed their life, and that they have to now go meet you too. And now you have a line outside your door of clients flooding in just to be in your energy, inside your brand with you. They want to learn from you. They want to cheer for you. They want to just refer you to the rooftops and tell more and more people to invite them inside. How does it feel to have a lifetime client that tells everyone about you and your services? They refer you over and over again. How does it feel to be so grounded in your energy and in your big vision? And that just by simply being you, you can change the world. You now have a line out the door of your dream clients. What do they look like? How do they enter your store? How do you greet them? What are they experiencing, interacting with you, your products, your service, your brand? How does it feel to hold all of these clients and consumers that are just waiting around the corner to work with you? Your clients and consumers exit the store. You begin to shut down for the day, cleaning up your brand store, sitting in awe and gratitude of what you created and what you continue to build. I want you to take 5 breaths here and sit in who you are, what's gotten you here, and who you've yet to become in your bigger brand movement, in your mission, in the woman behind the brand. And the curtains begin to close, and you exit your identity playground. I want you to come back to your body, move your fingertips, move around, shake it out, shake the energy out. You can open up your eyes. And I would love to hear whether you want to share some chains that were holding you back. Maybe it was something new you discovered, or what did your brand store look like? What did you experience inside your brand? Or how did you see yourself on the big screen? Jess, do you want to go? Do you want to unmute?
Sure.
Are you back?
I almost went to sleep. I was so at peace. It was really good, actually. It's been a busy couple days, so this was good for me to enjoy and really get into it. But, I felt a lot of my pressure from like here on up, my head up, and a lot has to do with my voice and the thoughts that go through my head about my mission, my passion, what I'm doing, what I'm going through right now. So I know a lot of mine is all a bit up in this area that needs to be worked on. But when I walked into my store, it was very clean aesthetics. I'm a very neutral person. I like a lot of beiges and stuff. So I saw everything that's very clean. Definitely worship music was up in that place.
Oh, I know for you.
But I felt very at peace with my space I went into. And I think that speaks a lot to where my whole vision is going, where God has me, but very fitting to where I'm going and the place that I see stuff.
Yeah. And now even thinking about what you experienced and how you want your consumers and your clients that you're going to be working with, or your retreat, like now how can you take what you experienced and have those women that you're bringing into your world, how do they get to experience that peace? And I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Good takeaway.
Anyone else want to share?
I mean, mine is so different, so I'll share that.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Color, 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 color. I love color. I love pop music, dance, all that kind of stuff. High energy. I'm a very high energy person. My site is very color, high energy. And also I think like generosity is part of my approach, and making people feel really comfortable and safe and welcome, but also challenged. I work with leaders to help them build healthy, high-performing teams who actually like what they do and don't hate going to work. And part of the way I do that is by being a goofball. And there's a part of me that is very much that in my brand. And it's really hard to embrace that all the time because it's work. It's supposed to be serious. So kind of like what Jessica just said, like here up.
And so what I would challenge for you is how and where can you fit in to connect to your fun side, like that humorous side? And maybe that's like in the mornings, like before you get into work, or maybe it's decompressing after work or midday. Like if you're like in a midday, like,
Yeah.
like, how can I like make myself even laugh? Like, and add that color back to life, add that color and bring it, because who you're working with feels that too. And it is a mirror, and we attract in our brand, it's a mirror. So we attract who it is that not only they desire to be, but again, they see something in us. And so if you're showing up as this colorful, light person, but you're also like, here's the strategy, and we're going to get down to business too. And so it's a beautiful balance of both, where they feel safe with you and they feel like, oh, like I can just be myself because she's herself. But then they also know like, oh, I'm going to like learn something and I'm going to get something impactful out of this. And like, and so like every interaction, wherever they find you first to even their exit strategy, adding in your fun side, even if it's a client you're offboarding, like how can you make them laugh one more time? Because they're going to come back in and they're going to reinvest, or they're going to refer you. So how can we add in these different sides and pieces of us and not forget about who we are being while we're so in it, right? And I know that can be challenging.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to reshare my screen, and we're going to go back to, I want to talk more about sensory brand. Wait, why did that do that? Okay, I guess I'm going to have to represent mode. That's okay. Present. And everyone can see the screen fine, right? Oops. Okay. We got comfy, we broke the chains. And if anyone wants to share later, my DMs are open. Like I would love to hear more. I have actually a Break the Chains live Telegram channel. So I'll shoot that out to all of you all, and we can have a little safe container to talk about like, what did our big vision look like? Or maybe those chains that we're working through that we can co-collaborate, and maybe somebody else has gone through that too, and we can be like, look, this was my story, this is like, I can support you or hold you accountable. And so when it comes to the sensory experience and what you just walked through, I have 6 components of a sensory brand. So your identity, we went through the expression and your personality and your vibe that you saw on the big screen, your visuals, maybe you saw your brand colors and some aesthetics that you like. And so now I want you to think about, how can I incorporate this in my brand or in my content? And how can I amplify my brand with a sensory experience? Maybe that's your sound when you're creating content. Maybe you have a specific song, or maybe you do a voiceover on your reel. So this is something that there's a study done, and there's different types of buyer types, right? Our consumers. And maybe you like to listen to books when you read. Maybe you like to actually have a hard book that you're reading. And so I want you to think about like, how do you like to learn, but also how does your consumer like to learn? And if you make a post, maybe you do a post and you write it out and somebody's going to read it. But how much more powerful could you amplify that if you use your voice over top of your reel and they're actually hearing you, they're hearing the passion or they're hearing your voice and it touches them a little bit deeper. It makes them feel you more. How could you make a brand sound that's like, maybe every time you have this one specific promo. So for example, for me with the Death of Playing Small, I have chains. You see, I'm wearing my chains. I have chains all in my branding. If you go to my Instagram page, you'll see chains everywhere. If you listen to certain things I've created, there's chains clinking in the background. So now this taps into our subconscious branding and our subconscious. So if somebody is out and say they're at a football game and someone's on the chain fence and they're like, oh my gosh, Priscilla, I wanted to invest in her program and I forgot and I was doing all the things and I need to like make sure that I connect with her. I want to talk to her about branding. So what does that look like for you? And what are these things that could either be a song that you use for your offer, or maybe that's your brand? Some people make jingles. I knew a girl that literally had the same song every single post she posted. And so somebody could be going down the highway driving, this song comes on the radio and they think of her. They're like, oh, this is so-and-so. I want to get back in her world. Like I've fallen off track or XYZ. So sound is super powerful. And now you might be wondering, like, how do I get like taste, touch, and scent into my digital space, right? So when it comes to touch, think about textures in your brand. So you'll see my background behind me is leather. You'll see that I'm wearing leather. Maybe in some of my slides, you've seen leather, but right now I have this like,
47K.
right now you'll see like a leopard in the background, and it's not just like a leopard pattern, but it's actual, like it looks like his fur. So this is how you can amplify. Instead of just a black background, you could start to think about like, what is this for me and what kind of texture and feeling? So like Jess, for your more like clean aesthetic vibe, me, it's going to be like more light and airy, but like, what is that texture for you and your brand? And maybe you saw that in the visualization, like on the walls or maybe some kind of painting. And for me, I have a cheetah in my brand, and a symbolism of a cheetah is fierce and fast. And I want all of my clients, I want every woman who steps into my world to be fucking fierce. I want them to just feel and open up and go all in. And so when it comes to touch, think about when you're creating your content, or maybe it's your podcast space, maybe you're making videos for your brand, and like, what does my space look like? How can I brand my space? Maybe there's like a certain picture or something in the background you always have. Maybe there is something like, I have a cheetah matte black tumbler that I like. If it's not on brand, I don't want it. Like, own your brand, you know? And then so when it comes to scent and taste, I want you to think about raising your consumer's vision and really connecting them to you. And so for me, like for the Death of Playing Small, this brand that I've just launched, it's more sexy. I'm getting like those potent, dark, feminine sides out. I want to get those deeper, dormant sides of you that like are locked away out. And so I have a candle I made that is my brand scent. And it is amber, vanilla bean, and teakwood musk. So it's a fucking sexy scent, okay? And I want, when I host my retreat this November, I'm going to make sure that that scent is there. So now when it comes to scent or taste, if you are hosting a mastermind, if you're hosting an in-person event, if you're hosting a retreat, how can I amplify this experience with my brand scent? Maybe it's a swag bag, and maybe you have a certain snack that you always like to eat. Maybe you're in your videos, or you're like always referring to like grandma's home-baked cookies, example. So you are going to make sure that that room smells like grandma's home-baked cookies. And so when it comes to building a full brand experience, I want you to start thinking about like, what does this look like and how can I amplify the actual experience? Not just teaching them, not just leading them, but now this is next level, and the senses, because when we use our senses, that is when we become present. That is when we come fully present. And then that's also another layer of them remembering. They're going to remember what they experienced with you, and they're going to be like, I just got to be in this woman's world. I'm never going to leave. Or they're going to refer you. They're going to remember you because it's going to be different. So I want you to think about, how can I personalize my client experience? Jess says vanilla is my scent. Yes, of course. I love it. Anybody else have a scent or something visual that they saw that they want to maybe incorporate in their brand? You can drop it in the chat. And so with that being said, I'm introducing to you my new baby. I'm hosting the funeral of the century. This is literally the eulogy of the death of playing small.
Just that, just that, just that, just that, just that.
Coming out hard like 88 with a bitch left like very fake blood bitch. I don't play petty fake charms in the current cake curse in the petty fake couple of no type this petty way.
So this is very much so a bold statement brand. And I want to, as I am sharing with you about the death of playing small, I also want to share with you, like, with your personal brand, you could have a conceptual brand, or you could have a very much personal brand. So for me, in the death of playing small, this isn't all sides of me, but this is one part of me and the identity of the brand. So even when you're launching your offers or your products, what is the identity that you're building, the world that you're creating? So for the death of playing small, for me, this is literally breaking the chain. So what is keeping you small? I'm hosting the funeral of the century. I'm hosting a funeral. Who does that? I'm putting a twist on that. And you are going to show up in November to my welcome dinner, and we are going to be at the funeral of whatever you're breaking the chains to. We are going to be changing DNA. We are going to unlock, and I want you to literally voice your big vision out loud. I want you to speak out what you're letting go of while you're breaking. I'm going to have chains that you will be breaking. So literally going back to the experience, and what does that look like for you? Oh, it skipped a bunch. Let me go back. So with the death of playing small, it is a 4-month identity mastermind and immersive sensory brand retreat. So I'm going to be teaching you how to create this immersive experience, holding your hand, guiding you, and everything that I did to launch the death of playing small, I want to take you through, because it's not just about rebranding. It's not just about your content. It is creating the movement. And what do you want to stand for? What do you want to build this world around that your consumers want to and desire to be a part of? So this is unleashing your next level brand identity and your leadership in your industry. And again, like inside this room, we're going to unshackle whatever disembodiment, wherever you feel disembodied, those limiting beliefs and judgment that you might be holding on to. It starts October 17th, 17th until January 31st. So inside, I am going to be going over, we're going to really dive into your identity and who is this woman that I want to be, as well as brand building. We're going to be getting into your X factor. Who is this woman behind the brand that I want to unleash, that I want to get out, that I want to connect to and build this brand movement? I have industry healers coming in, EFT tapping, trauma release. I have breath work sessions. Like, the beginning of this program is the identity and really tapping into who you are again and unleashing her on another level. Then we're going to be diving into the retreat for month 2. The retreat is going to be next level. In my world, I don't do anything small. So literally we are going to have this beautiful mansion that we're all going to connect to in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And that's where we're going to be stepping into and claiming this next identity within this 4-day retreat. We're going to be doing breath work. We're going to be doing mirror work. I'm going to create the Red Leopard Lounge. Here is potentially one of the retreat houses. I have to still put the deposit on, but we're going to have our welcome dinner for the writing of your eulogy. Again, you're going to enter your funeral. We're going to be releasing and breaking the chains of playing small. You're going to enter the Red Leopard Lounge to explore and play in your expression and your embodied confidence. So literally, I'm going to have a room full of mirrors that you will enter. I want to just do mirror work and like play into your primal movement. Like, what does this look like? And release all judgment, no matter where you are in this journey. And then on day 4, we're going to unleash her and claim her through an embodied brand photo shoot. And this is really for you. It is custom to you, whether you want it for your brand. Maybe it's an offer you're launching come January. I want you to be loud as fuck on the internet. I want you to go all in your bigger vision. And so we're going to be building that. This is the building of your brand movement. So come January, we're unlocking it. We're unleashing it. We're getting really loud about it and getting those people that you want in your world inside. So again, the shoot could be, whether that's for you, it could be sexy, it could be embodiment, or it could align. And so for you being on this call, I have an extra bonus that you'll get a 30-minute brand direction shoot call with me. And we're going to go over props. How do we make this a sensory brand experience for your brand and cater it to your brand? I'm really excited about all of this, you all, if you can't tell. And so this is like your death and your rebirth. What does that look like to you? What would it look like to just play in your expression and your artistry and build a movement for your future clients and people that are coming into your world? I don't want you to be stagnant anymore. And I don't want you so in the, like we said earlier, Tasca, like the rawr. This is to pull those pieces and those dormant pieces out of you. So right now we're in pre-sale and it's at 5K. It'll be going up. This is again for 4 months of the mastermind. I also have my sales coach coming in. We're going to be doing money, wealth building. I have a money and mindset woman coming in who's going to help you then come January while we're launching. We're going to learn about wealth building and what does that look like, and to you now, wherever you're in your business, we're going to have a challenge. Like, I really want to hold you accountable. I have a content woman coming in. She is going to give us some really juicy prompts and some things to play in so we can talk about our brand mission, so we can talk about our movement, and as well as whatever you're launching, what that looks like for you. I want this to be a co-creation, but also catered to you. So we'll have a Telegram chat where all of us will be co-creating together. And then you'll also get 3 one-on-one calls with me so that we can figure out what that looks like for you and your big brand vision. So it'll be a mixture of group, but also like a la carte and your one-on-one experience with me as your creative director and your branding expert to take your brand to that next level. So again, some bonuses, you'll get 3 one-on-one calls with me. You'll get a brand audit. So I'll look at what you're doing now and see where there might be some missing gaps. There might be some brand messaging, or maybe where I see that you don't know yet, or from an outside, like, you know, this is actually a gap for you in your messaging or for your visuals and your who you are. I have a top 3 pin post IG Canva template for you. So people will come to your page and know exactly who you are, what you do, and whatever freebie or wherever you want to lead them first to go in. And then again, the 30-minute brand shoot direction call with me. So this will be pre-retreat. So we can really make sure that you come into this retreat ready to uncover, unleash, and claim her inside of the death of playing small.
This is your eulogy to break the chains of judgment and fear of what others might think of you, the chains of guilt from outcomes that were not in your control, guilt from breaking promises to yourself, the chains of shame of your past, shame of unaligned choices, relationships, and shame others projected onto you, the chains of ignoring days you felt trapped but didn't use your voice to break free, the chains that you hide and no one else can see. You are the only vessel for your voice to speak volumes. It is through your truth, your expression, and exploration of self that you unshackle and awaken the most alive, liberated, and embodied version of you. When you break the chains to what's holding you back, link by link, it is then we all break free.
And so that is an example of how you can create a sensory brand. Sound, movement, scent, your textures, your embodiment, all of it. So I would invite you. Jess is already in. Jess is coming. She's coming to the retreat. Yes, Tosca, powerful. Yes, standing ovation. Tabaya, can you help me say your name?